I love the show. It's amazing. Like I've watched the first 5 episodes and it's incredible. I watched it with my son. We both loved it. He's 17. Don't worry. But I wanted to first off, are you guys like me recovering from Halloween today? Is that a thing that you guys are going through?
Sean, no.
I'm not. I drove to visit my mom, and we had a few trick or treaters, and I was able to get to bed early. I don't you
Partake.
know I dress up for a living, so it feels like I like to take Halloween off.
I am usually that way too, but last night, um, I I went I my friends have a kid who had his like first, he's 3, and it was like his first real Halloween.
Mm.
So I was like, I gotta show up to that. And then to witness him eat his first Kit Kat was wild.
Oh wow.
And then my friends had a
Did you
wig.
see his eyes like dilate like right in front of your face? Just
Yeah, I was
yeah,
like, oh, the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. First of many. That's me. I
Yeah,
feel like my blood sugar is going to take weeks to come down. No,
yeah.
just to get onto the show, I wanted to know, Sean, if you had to guess, approximately how many times do you think you had to record the word Nazi?
Ballpark? 300. I don't know. It's great. It's my favorite thing, man, about the like I love it's very cool to really it's great to play a character who hates Nazis because I hate Nazis, and I love playing a character who hates Nazis, and I think that we need collectively as a society we need a hero who hates Nazis. You know,
No,
so
I found myself living vicariously through GI Robot the
I'm
whole show.
so in. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so in.
I loved it. Now, Zoe, if Nina ever makes the jump into live action, would you prefer to do motion capture like Sean does for Weasel, or would you want to go the more practical prosthetic look like Colin Farrell did for the Penguin?
Okay. As a real green newbie to this whole thing, I'm like, I want to do prosthetics, and I mean, I want to do whatever serves the project most efficiently and effectively. But there is a part of me that's like, oh, it'd be so fun because I've never done any of that stuff to, put this outfit on. But then everybody was like, you say that, and after day one, you'll be like, this was a mistake.
You got to do the prosthetics one time just to do
Once in
it.
your,
You'll
yeah.
love it. It'll look amazing, and then you'll learn why you never want to do it.
Yeah, totally, totally, totally. Because
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking about the character was like you could really go either way with her because it's
I
such a
think that's
cool
true.
look. Yeah.
I think that's true, actually. You do a little of both, maybe.
yeah, that sounds maybe like the perfect balance.
CG, well, I would imagine you have to at least CG the water in there. So that's important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not.
No, we have to, Chris. I did some research and I got better at swimming, but I still can't breathe
Not
under.
that good.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I really loved about the show, Weasel's whole arc, I'm going to try not to spoil anything, but he's a bit misunderstood and has a little bit more of a pitiful backstory than what was presented in the Suicide Squad. Were you always aware of the real reason Weasel went to prison, or was that new info for Creature Commandos?
I was aware of elements of that story. Yeah, without spoiling anything. I knew I knew, sort of, I knew kind of what Weasel was and was not guilty of, regardless of what they said in the Suicide Squad. And I got to tell you, it's been such a joy to like revisit that character and bring a little more depth to him because I meet fans at conventions and stuff all the time who are like the Weasel's hilarious, dude. He's the funniest, like craziest character. And I was like, just wait until you see Creature Commandos. You're gonna have something. There's something in store that you're gonna learn a lot more about him.
No, I loved it. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole show was that specific spot. Again, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But and in fact, Zoe, I was going to tell you, you just sort of answered one of my questions, but I wanted to know now that you were playing Nina, how many pop figures you had collected of her. And if you were going to start giving those out as Christmas presents to everybody, because that's what I would do if I was cast as a superhero.
I only have two right now. I'm just gonna pick it up again. I pick her up again. I'm so pumped. She's so cool. I've never had, I didn't, I'm so new to comics and this whole world. So I've seen these before, but I didn't know what they were called and all this stuff. So now I'm like, yeah, I got to get a bunch and give them out.
Yeah.
Sean,
Yeah,
how many action figures of yourself do you have at this point?
I only have, well, there's two Kraglin, one from the second Guardians, one from the third Guardians. And then, Rocket is kind of like, are those mine or not mine? I'm only one kind of piece of that. So
I think it's shared. I think, yeah.
I think it's shared. Yeah, I think that's fair to say it's shared. And then those for the Funkos. And then there's also an actual action figure of Kraglin that's more in the like Star Wars figure style kind of action figure. And that's really cool. And I think that's it. But I'm psyched to get two more Funkos. That's awesome.
It's actually that's quite humble of you, because I would have so many copies of my action figures. I'd have a whole room dedicated to it. So that's pretty
I
impressive.
just have one of each. I just have one.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I
So
also
humble.
have my James Gunn Funko, by the way, which is
that's
the rare.
cool.
Oh, it's so rare. It's like the one. It's like it sells for tons of money on eBay because it's a limited edition. His hair is still dark. No facial hair, just dark spiky hair from when he was younger. And it's like, and they did this new director's series at San Diego Comic-Con like over 10 years ago, and it's a hard Funko to get a hold of. So
That's awesome.
Will you send me a picture of it?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Now, excluding your characters, just to throw the biasness out the window, which of the Creature Commandos are you most excited to see make the jump from animation to live action?
I think Bride.
I do too. I was going to say the same thing.
Bride's cool.
Yeah, I think that she's just such a cool character. Indira crushes it.
Yeah.
They're both Frankenstein too. I mean, they're both like, and we already know that we're going to see Rick Flagg Sr. in Peacemaker season 2, so he'll be there too. It's really cool. But the Bride and Frankenstein are rad.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I love this direction that James has taken everything, and how these things are going to blend between animation and live action, and it's all going to be connected. I think that's super cool. Sean, I know you can't say much, but speaking of my excitement for like Superman, I was wondering if you could talk about David Cornsweet and Nicholas Hoult as Superman and Lex Luthor, and what your opinion was of maybe seeing their performances on set if you were able to.
I can tell you that from what I've seen, whether it was on set or from footage that my brother has shown me, that I just like, I think the movie's going to be kick-ass, and their performances are excellent. Like, it's a really cool new, playing Superman is tricky. It's a lot. It's almost like it's one of those kind of acting roles that almost seems from the outside that it's easier than it is. But there's a lot you kind of have to juggle in order to play that character well and make him both sort of flawless, but you can't make him boring. And David is just unbelievable. So I can tell you, and that it's going to be cool. I'm excited for an audience to see it. I can't say much more than that.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Don't want to get anybody in trouble. To that, I also wanted to ask Sean, now that you are playing like 3 separate characters in DC, are you even going to have time in the next 5 years to return as Kraglin?
I do not know the answer to that. I really don't. And I don't know the answer to that twofold, because number one, I don't know what Marvel, I don't know what Marvel's plans are, but when they call, I answer their calls. So it's not like but I don't know what they have planned, or if they have anything planned that they're interested in talking to me about. But the same is kind of true for DC. I've got these now like 3 different characters, but they're all very different. They live in very different corners of this of this universe, and I'm not. I don't. I have less information about how prominent they might be in stuff going forward. So I don't. I'm still taking it as it comes. I love the work. I'm trying to, like, if I can do all of it, I'll do all of it. So I'm just kind of taking it.
Oh no, dude, I'm
Yeah.
so impressed with the diversity of the roles that you've done. I mean, I think that you're fantastic, man. I'm
Oh, I
not even trying to blow smoke. I think you've done an awesome job. And last question for you is that out of the three, if you could pinpoint one, who have you had the most fun playing up to this point?
Maxwell Lord.
Oh, that's exciting. I haven't even seen him yet, so I can't wait to see what you've done. That's awesome. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I know that you got more people to talk to and everything, and I really appreciate it. I love the show so far, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir, good to see you again, as always. Your
Yeah,
hair is
man.
looking
How you
impeccable, man.
been?
Dude, I'm excited that we finally get to talk about Creature Commandos and nobody's going to get in trouble. That's awesome. Have you met Joel Kinnaman yet and had a chance to tell him that you're his daddy now?
Yeah, Joel and I are friends, and it's interesting because he's about I'm going to say about 12 or so years younger than me, and it's interesting that I'm his father. But I love Joel. I'm a big Joel Kinnaman fan, and he's a great guy.
No, I've interviewed him a few times, and I think he's awesome. Now, obviously, Rick Sr. is dealing with like the death of his son, and we'll see that play out. How do you think he feels about himself as a father?
Oh, that's a great question. Being a father of three sons, when I read all this and I understood the depth of pain and grief that I'm going through as Flagg, it's something I think I wake up with. It's something I think I go to bed with as Rick Flagg Sr. You know what I mean? The loss of a child, which, I don't have a lot of fears in my life, but especially because I'm always away from my home. So all I think about is my safety of my children. And so I don't think there would be a day that went by where this wasn't on the top of my my thoughts. Do you know what I mean? And that's a through line for me playing the character.
No, I'm sure that there's a lot of distraction taking place when it comes to the character.
Right.
I understand completely because I have a 17-year-old son and he's got his license now and he's driving and it's the scariest thing in the world. I can't stand it.
It's terrible. Now my 25-year-old is an adult, so I trust that but I got a 16-year-old who's about to start driving, and I'm like, I can't do this again. I'm too old. I want to chain him to the bedpost.
Now, given that Creature Commandos introduces Rick Flagg Sr., and next we'll see him in Superman and Peacemaker, what can you tell us about how his character evolves across these projects?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, he evolves. He evolves professionally.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in different places in his career when he's in each of those places, those things, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest change for him too, personally, is that he is at some point given responsibility that is maybe above his pay grade, and he's got to learn. He's got to learn how to manage that authority and power.
Now, how has James Gunn's vision for Flagg, influenced your performance?
Here's the deal about James Gunn. He's such an amazing writer that all the information is in the script.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I don't think I've called him more than 2 times in the course of 3 projects to ask him about character stuff. I really don't. I'm either getting it from what I am saying and doing or getting it from what other characters are saying and doing about me.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's a full life. It's a full bouquet that I could put together based on just the scripts. And that's rare.
Now, let's say hypothetically, I own the first appearance comic books of Crossbones and Rick Flagg Sr. Will you sign them for me when we finally get to meet in person?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. It's a good idea.
Excluding Rick Sr., though, obviously, which member of the Creature Commandos are you most excited to see cross over into live action?
Just David Harbour, Frankenstein, just because I'm a huge David Harbour. They're all amazing, Alan and Maria, and they're all amazing actors, but there's something about Harbour and that character and what he's done with it. God, and having seen him in Hellboy and him understanding the gravitas of these kinds of characters. I'd love to see him play Frankenstein, man. I mean, he makes me laugh so much, and then he breaks your heart. Like there's a real soul in Frankenstein, and I think he's phenomenal.
I don't want to spoil anything, but you guys are having a moment on the show together, and the way he describes When Harry Met Sally made me laugh so hard, man. I thought I was gonna shit my pants. I was laughing so hard.
I know. That's twisted.
Dude, it was amazing.
Gun's twisted.
One thing I wanted to ask you, I mean, obviously Rick Flagg is in animation now. He's in, he's going to be in live action. Is there any chance we might see Rick Flagg Sr. in a video game next? Is that a possibility?
Oh, if they'll pay me. It's amazing because I don't know how they do it, both James and Peter, but they really have a real grasp and understanding about this world they're creating, whether it's, animation, live action, whether it's the merchandise. They're involved in every aspect of it, and they have great people around them, and so nothing will surprise me with these guys. I mean, and they look. Peter's been in the business for a long time at a very high level, and James Gunn's been in the other world. Like he understands that world. What he did with Guardians, I think, was exceptional, and I'm excited. I'm excited that they brought me into this at the embryonic stage. And in whatever capacity I finish in, that I was part of it in the beginning.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible. It's just rare for actors to be able to portray the same character in both animation and live action. I mean, that's not an opportunity a lot of people get. What's it been like stepping into Rick's world through two different formats, and how do you feel like that's going to benefit the storytelling?
It's been really incredible because I've learned. And because of Rick being Rick in each of those things, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of carried him through as the same guy. Do you know what I mean? In different circumstances. And James has allowed that, and I think has wanted that. And it's been a gift. I mean, because I get to be a little silly at times and over the top, and then, play it as if this is real and this is happening right now. And so for me as an actor, I've gotten to do a lot in a very complex way. And it's been really fun.
Last question for you, man. For Halloween, how are you cheating on your diet?
I don't cheat, man. I don't cheat on my girl. I don't cheat on my diet. I don't cheat on.
I can say that I subscribed to the first one. I'm terrible about the second one, man. Terrible. But
I would cheat on my girl before I would cheat on my diet. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I eat the same stuff every day, man. I'll eat a steak or a piece of salmon, a sweet potato, some avocado, and 3 eggs every day. That's what I eat.
That's pretty much what my diet is, with like blueberries and Greek yogurt. Like that's essentially what I do.
Real food.
Yeah. But not today. Halloween candy. I'm gonna be sneaking it all day.
Wait,
tomorrow's Halloween.
Tomorrow's Halloween.
Right. But the candy is coming to the house today. Sir, always a pleasure. Thank you for your time, man.
Thank you, brother.